Penalty.
You see all part of the process. He sets the ball, checks his socks, marks off his run. No, he missed it!
You see Marcus Rashford coming into the game now.
Down.
It's not over yet, young man. Still got some time.
2 minutes remaining. Goff throws.
Wow.
It is caught. Panay Sewell, the right tackle, makes the catch.
Oh, man. What a week of sports. This is interesting to see your daily sports podcast, News Narratives, Takes Gambling. Harry Kane misses the PK. And France defeats England 2-1. Panay Sewell, 7th overall draft pick and probably second team all-pro right tackle for the Detroit Lions, ices the game after going in motion and catching a flat route. He's a right tackle. I thought it was one of the cooler plays from the weekend. Big weekend in football. None of the games were particularly good or epic, but they were really interesting and fun to talk about. Heisman Trophy winner, but we are going to begin today, as we should, with the World Cup. A lot going on in the World Cup. We will get to the NFL in a moment. Harry Kane missing against France. Really interesting situation because France and England, obviously one of the top 5 best rivalries in all of geopolitics and actual hatred. Right up there. Let's see if we can get this correct. England, France, Germany versus Europe, Pakistan, India is probably number 1. China, Japan. We don't really talk about that one. They don't really talk about it either. Those ones are up there. I would say, am I missing any? I would say, Argentina, Brazil. Duh. But England, France, all kidding aside, England and France was a really interesting game because if you don't know footy or soccer, the way that France plays is called a counter-attacking style, and it's a really risky way to play. And it's a style of play that most teams who play it are not very good, but they do it as a way to kind of limit the damage and to kind of eke out some victories here or there. So when a good team does it, it can be really violent, but it's really hard to get them to buy in because it's very boring. And it's exactly what it sounds like, and I'm making a mess of this, and I'm not a soccer person, but essentially what it is you let the other team, and we're seeing this is a very similar strategy to what's happening in National Football League, and it happens in hockey too, where you let the other team dick around all they want. You let them have it. You let them just, in NFL football, it'd be like, yeah, give them the 5-yard play. We don't care. And they just dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And the same thing in soccer. They possess the ball. They move it here. They move it there. And there weren't any Frenchmen anywhere. They weren't anywhere. And then they would get to the point to try to score goals, and all the Frenchmen would be there, and they'd shut them down. And then after you try a little too hard and you freak out a little bit too much, the counterattackers, they just send people forward, and they get you before you can get back on defense. France does that. The penalty kick situation to me is one of the most, and we've talked about this all year, it's one of the most disheartening, awful things that happens in sports, which is not when a team wins, but when a team loses. And Harry Kane had 2 penalties in the game. He made one. He missed the other. He is kind of getting older, but as far as pure striking and pure goal scoring, he has for the last 5 years been the best goal scorer in international football. I don't fight anybody on the internet about that. Ronaldo, Messi. Good for them. He puts the ball in the net. He just does. But England didn't do anything else. He got him 2 penalties. The irony here is that he is England's captain and one of France's best players and captain of the World Cup team a couple of years ago is Hugo Lloris. They've been teammates for Tottenham Hotspur for, I don't even know, 10, 15 years or so. I mean, a long time. They've been on the same club together. They've been through some shit. England and France were on a crash course for the World Cup final last time, but England lost to Croatia. So to have that be the way it ends, and then this just sucks. And remember, of course, England lost the European final on penalties. They missed their penalties, I think, to Italy. I don't really remember. Harry Kane, quote, his Instagram, absolutely gutted. We've given it everything, and it's come down to a small detail, which I take responsibility for. There's no hiding from it. It hurts, and I'll take some time to get over it, but that's part of sport, which is it's true. Man, I wish it had been saved. I wish it hadn't been missed. That sucks. Other World Cup news, we're going to catch you up on the bracket. Morocco is through. They're in the Final Four. They have to play France now, which, I mean, it's always the cool thing never happens. Brazil is out. Let's check in. World Cup schedule. I think it's Morocco, Argentina, France, and Croatia? Yes. Argentina is going to play Croatia. Argentina, of course, very good. Croatia, man, the Modric, I've been saying that he's actually the best player in the world for 5 years now. People laugh at me. Do you watch Messi? Yeah. I watch all these people get set up, score all these goals because Modric is on their team. And France and Morocco, which is probably a bit of a rivalry. I mean, not as big a rivalry as Morocco and Portugal, who they defeated, but really cool moment for Muslim countries, really cool moment for African countries. I'm pretty positive no one has made it this far for Muslim majority countries and African countries as Morocco, which is basically a European country, but it's not. It's not a European country, so it doesn't count. These games are going to happen on Tuesday and Wednesday. So Argentina-Croatia is tomorrow, and France and Morocco is on Wednesday. Okay, NFL football time. Actually, you know what? Change my mind. Let's do some college football. Let's do that right now.
Cade Ballard stays in at quarterback. They're going to keep it on the ground, straight up the middle. Markel Johnson, touchdown.
Army-Navy tied 10-10 at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. First play of overtime, and Army scores a touchdown. 10-10 going into overtime is amazing. First play is a touchdown. Get out of here. That's amazing. They hit a home run. They go up by 7. We are now at overtime. So now it's Navy's turn to have the ball.
And it's up and good.
Unbelievable. So here comes Navy. It's a double play action pass wide the fuck open.
Wide open. Touchdown. First completion of the day.
Did you hear what they just said? First completion of the day.
Cal Haywood.
I love Army Navy.
Answers for Navy.
It was a fucking classic.
Are you kidding me?
It was a classic, and then, more stuff happened. Then something really unfortunate happened, which, again, same thing as England-France, same thing. Going in to score right around the goal line, Navy in double overtime.
Hall and Haywood flanking our line.
And he fumbled.
Hall, did he get there? The ball came out.
That shit makes me sick, man.
I think he did. He fumbled it.
Trying to unpile bodies, no call.
So Army gets it.
Do this brilliant.
Okay, advertisement. Look at these dudes with their shirt off. This is hilarious. I must have clicked on the wrong thing. That's so funny. Oh, man.
Trick for just 15 minutes per day.
Oh, well, should we watch this ad about how to get ripped for 15 minutes a day? No, but I want to. Anyway, here's the Army-Navy game. Yeah, so Army gets the ball.
It is good.
And they make the kick.
Army win.
I love the Army jerseys. They're highly it's a fade green, like a camo green that fades into like a camo sand color. I love it. This is the most Army-looking uniforms I've ever seen. Navies are not my favorite Navy uniforms. They got the NASA on the side, which is cool for some sort of space thing. They always honor different divisions. Very cool. It was a classic. It's probably the best Army-Navy game ever, in my opinion. They played first one was like 1890, I think. Then the series became regular in the 30s, the first one ever to go to overtime. Okay, let's get to NFL football. Penei Sewell and the Detroit Lions. So it's one of those situations where one team is down by a possession. They're down by 8. And they need to get the ball back. And the other team, if they get a first down, it's essentially over. So on 3rd and 7, after 2 runs, clock is now running. And it's ahead of the 2-minute warning. The Detroit Lions run a trick play where they send their right tackle, who checks in and doesn't go in as a tackle. He goes in as a fullback, so it makes it look like, okay, well, they're going to run either behind him or it's going to be a counter. They send this dude in motion, and the Lions send tackles in motion all the time, but they don't send him in motion. He's a starter. They send backups in motion. So they send him in motion, which must freak people out. Be like, fuck, that's the guy. And the thing about this guy is he's very, 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 very athletic. He's probably the most athletic offensive lineman ever. If not number 1, he's number 2 behind Trent Williams. He's so fucking fast. So they send him in motion, and then they fake a play-action run, and you just flip it to him. And if you watch it, I'll pull it up on the screen here. If you watch the catch, it's not like a routine catch. It is not a routine catch. So here it is. Let's watch the play. I got it up if you want to watch it on YouTube. Shouts to anybody that's been watching the game on YouTube. There's the touchdown to bring the Vikings to within 1 score. KJ Osborne, underrated player. So there's Sewell. Let's do it again. So here's Sewell. He's in motion. Play action. That's not a routine catch for a lineman. And then he tucks the ball, and then watch this. This guy's like trying to punch the ball. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I would not. I don't know. I would not do that to that guy. And a lot of other guys on the Lions, I'd do that too, but definitely not that guy. So the Lions win. The Lions are good. My favorite team. What up? 6 and 7. Lions finish the season with the Jets, Panthers, Bears, Packers in no particular order, except the Jets are next week. I think it's Jets, Bears, Panthers, Packers. I could be wrong. So, yeah, shouts to Detroit. Unbelievable. America's team. Other things that happened yesterday in the NFL, Deshaun Watson sucks ass at football, which is great. Got a lot of TikToks of people chanting. I mean, the two chants are that people are chanting, and cover your ears. No means no, and you sick fuck. That's what opposing fans are chanting, and it has traveled from stadium to stadium now. So that's going to be a thing. He looks awful. He looks absolutely awful. Other narratives from yesterday, we've got to run through some of these. The Sunday night game, we'll finish up with that. Tua versus Herbert. Remember, I think I could be wrong. It was something like Tua was taken 5th overall. Herbert was taken 6th overall, and there's been a debate who's actually better. There's not a debate. It's not a debate at all. It's not even close. It's Justin Herbert. We'll talk about that coming up a little later. Right now, I want to talk about the Jets and Mike White. Mike White put his nuts on the line yesterday, and I was watching in the airport. I was flying back from Philadelphia just to hang out with some friends and check in on Army Navy and a bunch of other fun stuff and birthdays and things like that. So I'm in the airport, and I watched this hit on Mike White, and I thought, wow, this is why kids don't play football anymore. So I have it up on the screen if you want to watch on Spot. It's also available. You can watch on Spotify and YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate, review, etc. So if you watch this in real time, it's like, okay, that's good. And you watch him like that whiplash. Now watch it in slow-mo, completely exposed, and folds. He literally folded like a chair in midair. And he's just on the ground. He couldn't like breathe. And Tony Romo, who has been obliterated like this a few times in his career, he had back problem. I think he had a broken back, broken ribs. Did he have a spleen problem? I don't remember, but Romo has been hit like this, and he was on the call, and he was like, that guy is fucked up. That guy needs some help. And, man, Mike White has some nuts on him. Now the Jets, they put in Joe Flacco because Zach Wilson, since being benched, hasn't been dressing, which is embarrassing because he wants to make it clear to everybody that, this guy's not going in the game. The Jets will put up a fight against the Bills, but the Bills are a really good team. Flacco goes in, and it's sad. There's no chance. The other really interesting thing that happened yesterday from a quarterback standpoint, in my opinion, was the Chiefs go up on the Broncos 27-0, and the entire internet starts shitting on Russell Wilson. He throws a pick six and then makes a terribly sad tackle attempt on the pick six. Just really, really awful. It wasn't like he gave up bad effort. I want to make that clear. It wasn't bad effort. He just looked like he was not a professional athlete. And so the Chiefs are up 27-0. The Broncos come roaring back. They end up losing the game by 1 touchdown, which is great for me because I had Broncos plus 8.5. Way too many points, right? So I want to watch the sad pick six. So I think this might be. So 4th and 1, play action pass, gets batted down, and then whoop. That is a defensive lineman, I think, or a linebacker at least. Oh, it's not on the screen. We'll try it again. Might be. Too many buttons. So here's the play. Roll out. Boop. Got it. Great play. Whoever that is. That used to be Houston. I don't know who it is now. Really great play. But then the Broncos come roaring back. However, Russell Wilson got a concussion that was it was an incredibly violent concussion, and I believe it was him scrambling. He tried to get the first down or trying to get the touchdown. Just a really, really tough look. Put in the backup Brett Rippon, who is the son of someone else named Rippon, obviously, from Boise State. He had a big game during COVID a couple years ago. He's a pretty good backup, honestly. So, Broncos really, if they hadn't spotted the Chiefs so many points, it wouldn't have been that bad, but they did, so it was. And you see Russ go down like that, and then the consensus situation was that Russ was like the worst quarterback of all time at the beginning of the day. And then they come roaring back, and now it's good, and then Russ gets concussed, and it was just a tough look. So here it is. Russ is scrambling. He's diving, and he's just like, he's dead. Like, he kind of lands on his head. So here comes Brett Rippon, and it's 4th and goal, 34-21. Look at Brett Rippon. What a throw, bro. Jerry Jeudy, 3 touchdown passes on the day. Unbelievable. So the Broncos suck, and now Russ is hurt really bad. And now, because of the way they came back, and Brett Rippon and Jerry Jeudy, I fully expect today to be the day that Nathaniel Hackett gets fired. Because while Russell Wilson is a goober, and he sucks a lot more than he used to suck, and his teammates hate him and all of that, it absolutely appears to be true. It is also true that a competent coach would have the Broncos at least 2 more wins, and a good coach would probably have them 3 or 4 more wins, and this wouldn't be a disaster. But Nathaniel Hackett, you can't have a coach who doesn't know how to be a head coach a guy like Russell Wilson in the Broncos. I think a situation that the Texans have with Lovie Smith, where they would just rely on running and defense would be a better situation. They need an adult in the room, essentially, is what I'm saying. And speaking of the Texans, the other interesting story from the weekend, the Texans almost beat the Cowboys. They basically kind of should have, maybe, but they want the first overall pick. The Cowboys had to score at the very end of the game to beat the Texans, and the Texans are going back and forth on quarterbacks between Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll is one of those guys, wow, if he could just upgrade his software one little bit in his brain, he would have been a great NFL quarterback and a great college quarterback. He started a couple games for the Lions. He's got a huge arm. He can run. He's played tight end in the league before because he's just trying to stay around. He was, I want to say, #1 quarterback recruit and a top 5 recruit years ago for Florida. They never really worked out for him. But, so he's going back and forth with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. The Cowboys had to score at the very end to beat the Texans. Kind of an unreal situation if you're watching the game. I listen to podcasts all week long while I do my day job, and everyone's opinion was that the Broncos game and the Texans game, Texans, Cowboys, Broncos, Chiefs, it smelled weird. Just ebbs and flows of the leagues. Shit happens, and it just felt like they were weird, and I kind of agreed with them, and it made a lot of sense. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in the NFL. Tom Brady was underdogs on the road to the Niners, and everyone's like, Brady versus Purdy. What are we talking about? Yeah, 35-7 is what they were talking about. It's funny how that works, man. It really is. I would try to find this Dak Prescott go-ahead touchdown, but Cowboys videos have so many ads. It's insane. Jerry Jones is a slut. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, 3rd and goal with 46 seconds left. So if you're the Cowboys, this is one of those things where, like, okay, we get in field goal range. Let's be aggressive, but let's not be stupid. Worst case scenario, we get the field goal, we go to overtime, we'll probably beat them. So here's the play.
Up the middle, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott, huge day. Well, he's been huge since he's been back healthy, and splitting the load with him and Pollard has been really good for these guys. There's a play. Connor McGovern, great block on the play, and the Cowboys survive in advance. Eagles roll. They destroy the Giants. There's nothing to say other than because Mahomes and the Chiefs went up 27-0 and then shit their pants and only got one touchdown in the second half. There has a debate has sprung up about whether or not he's going to win the MVP. His biggest challenger is Jalen Hurts. Now, this is just my opinion. We're going to get out of here soon. There's, again, so much shit to talk about today. My opinion is that the Eagles would be exactly as good as they are right now with Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes would not be able to do what Jalen Hurts does. Both of those things can be true. We overlook the running thing as like a secondary thing that gets quarterbacks who aren't good through. Well, that's been proven incorrect by Michael Vick. It's been proven incorrect by Lamar Jackson, and now it's being proven incorrect by Jalen Hurts. They simply would have to completely change the offense and what they're able to do if Patrick Mahomes was on the team. The Chiefs would be the same situation. I think the Chiefs would be about as good as if they had Jalen Hurts. About. Not quite, I think, because true passing quarterbacks can kind of make up for some other deficiencies. But it would be like they were when they had Alex Smith, and they were awesome when they had Alex Smith, just like significantly better. They would have more wins. So I think that the Jalen Hurts MVP debate, it's time to really start having that. I think that if you give it to him, there's an element of this we're bored of Mahomes. But I also think very strongly that there's no other quarterback that you could replace Hurts with that the Eagles would be able to do what they do. There just isn't. And I do think in this era of 2 high safeties and no big deep shots, that having a running quarterback that's like Jalen Hurts, and watching him run is really weird. Justin Fields significantly faster. Obviously, Lamar Jackson faster. Even Kyler Murray, I think, is faster. But Jalen Hurts, he reads the field like a running back. He never gets hit. He gets a couple yards. He's unbelievable. The day he had yesterday was massive on the road against the Giants, who have a good defense. They're playing really hard. He was 21 for 31 passing, 217 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He only had 1 rush. There were 7 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's just running shit for the Eagles. So I think there's a true debate to be had at MVP. And we'll finish up now with a Sunday Night Football game. This is what everyone else is going to lead with. I don't really care because they're going to do that, so I'm going to put this at the end for you. Tua versus Justin Herbert. One coach who's a genius versus one coach who's a dweeb, and the genius coach outcoached the dweeb is what happened. So to have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, the way to stop them because they're so fast is to jam them and get in their face at the line of scrimmage, and that way they can't get their speed going, obviously. Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, they didn't really figure out how to have a running game, and Tua Tagovailoa is not the kind of quarterback that could hit insanely tight windows and carry a team. He just isn't. He can't. There's the community of his supporters is called TuaNon. Get it? Because of QAnon. TuaNon. They'll defend him, and they'll probably threaten me for this, but Tua is simply not as physically gifted as guys like Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, even in terms of arm talent to fit things into windows. That means he can't hit guys that are only kind of open for a second. And see this, through the first half, Tua Tagovailoa 3 for 14 for 25 yards, Justin Herbert 21 for 25, 190, and a touchdown. Justin Herbert's problem is that Joe Lombardi is his offensive coordinator, and that's the guy that was the offensive coordinator for Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson when they sucked. So maybe not let that guy run football teams and call offenses. And also, he's a white guy, obviously. That's the diversity issue. This guy should not have a job as an offensive coordinator fucking ever. But the Chargers hang on to win. I believe they won by 6 or a possession, 23-17. The Dolphins are good. The Chargers have a good roster, but their coach is an nincompoop. And he should be fired. The question is just whether or not they realize it. We'll get out of here on a sad note, kind of, or a scary note. Mike Leach was having some personal health issues. He was transferred from a hospital via ambulance to an emergency hospital. The word on Twitter, and as someone who's got connections in Mississippi, is that it's actually a very scary situation. And I do not have any medical sources, and I would never snitch on a doctor or a nurse who is giving me information, and they would never do that. But from people that I know in Mississippi, it's he's in critical condition was the last report, according to a couple people, and you can find that on the internet. I've heard it's pretty bad. But no other word. I mean, no, it could be a heart attack, and he could be fine. It could be he was having a panic attack. It could be food poisoning. I literally don't know. I just know that he's in critical condition. So T's and P's for Mike Leach, man. What a scary situation. And it's going to be buried today on the internet, but keep an eye out for that because I don't know. It just feels weird. All right, back and better than ever. Monday Night Football tomorrow review and a big week of the World Cup. See you then.